Do you want to know which individual created biology to be a major part of experimental science, or who the creator of animal tropism was? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to today's topic on the legendary physiologist Jacques Loeb. Jacques Loeb was born in 1859 in Mayen, Germany, where he grew up to pursue his education at the University of Strasbourg, where he later received his doctorate of medicine in 1884. He continued to study in Germany until in 1892 when he was called to move to the United States to further his career. He became an assistant professor at the University of Chicago on experimental biology, comparative psychology, and physiology until 1899. In 1910, he started to begin experimental embryology on marine invertebrates, including his first main focus on sea urchins. Jacques Loeb was one of the first physiologists to discover artificial parthenogenesis. This may be a word you're unfamiliar with, so let me explain. Artificial parthenogenesis is the human manipulation of egg cells causing embryonic development without sperm. His main focus was working on marine invertebrates to see if he could manipulate their eggs into producing viable larvae, which would later form these creatures. But let's talk about the main focus of today's topic of where psychology came into play. In 1886, Jacques worked under Adolf Fick, a physiology professor who was working on plant tropism, which is the ability of plants to respond to external stimuli. This got Jacques working on the idea of why not experiment on animals in the same way to come up with animal tropism. His first organism to work on was caterpillars to see that when coming out of their cocoon, they would have the instinct to go look for food. Jacques' hypothesis was that caterpillars had no true instinct and that they would just react and move towards any form of external stimuli. After conducting his experiments, he found that his hypothesis was correct, that when caterpillars were given the choice of either light or food, they always chose light, which eventually caused them to starve.
Evidently, with his work on artificial parthenogenesis and with caterpillars, Jacques Loeb had major contributions to the biological aspect of psychological theory and experimentation. His experimental work shed light on important topics such as the nature of instincts, consciousness, heredity, environmental influences, and the biological processes underlying stimulation and inhibition. Loeb explained that his aim was to analyze the behavior of animals from a physiochemical point of view, and to substitute the methods of modern science for anthropomorphism of the metaphysician. He conducted his research mostly in America. America during this time was in a period of rapid technological growth. Thanks to this, technology would help advance the knowledge of basic science. His work during these years would be known as the engineering ideal. Loeb's role in behavioral science is mostly due to how his scientific outlook on experimentation strongly influenced the work of B.F. Skinner. Skinner built upon Loeb's emphasis on prediction and control, which later became the basis for the experimental and technological application of behavioral science.
Loeb's radical and controversial approach to life sciences in the 20th century continues to impact our contemporary society's human health and welfare interventions, which range from education and medicine to industry and public policy. Loeb's notable contribution to the science of biological synthesis transformed our understanding of how life is rather synthesized rather than analyzed. He believed biology is an engineered mechanism that can be predicted and controlled through experimental analysis. This led to numerous artificial productions in the 21st century, for instance, in vitro fertilization, oral contraception, and the artificial production of mutation. His work provided modern-day life science with the ability to progress in the creation of developing artificial life in laboratory settings. This advancement in biotechnology continues to be seen across mainstream research regarding the expansion of genetic codes and xenobiology. Loeb's practice and scientific experimentation will continue to solidify the notions that living things can be controlled and predicted on a massive scale.